Hello everyone, I'm Praneeth. Welcome back to the channel. Today, let's watch and learn about auto scaling groups in AWS. I have logged into my AWS account and navigated to EC2 section. Now let's navigate to auto scaling groups. Auto scaling groups is available in the left hand side side pane at the bottom. So now let's click on it. So to work with auto scaling groups, we need to have a launch template. I have already created a launch template for this demo. If you are new to AWS launch templates, do watch my video on AWS EC2 launch templates. I'll tag that video at the end in the card section or pause here, watch that video and continue with this demo. So before proceeding with the auto scaling groups, let's have a basic definition. What is auto scaling group? It is a feature provided by cloud computing services like AWS that automatically adjusts the number of compute resources, such as virtual servers, based on demand. Autoscaling groups ensures that your application or service always has enough resources to handle varying levels of traffic, helps to maintain consistent performance, availability, and cost efficiency. So, in simple terms, it's like having a smart system that automatically adds or removes the servers as needed to keep your applications or services running smoothly without you having to worry about it. So, we can take an example like during our big billion days or Black Friday days, so we see many users log into the accounts and place the orders. So during those days, we can see the maximum traffic. Like most of the users will log into their account and place an order. So during those critical days and critical hours also, these websites will be up and running without any delay in the response times or some server issues or due to or these comes under the auto scaling. So based upon the traffic, so these instances will scale out or scaling and provide seamless experience. So now let's create an auto scaling group. I'll name it as demo ASG for auto scaling groups. So I'll select my launch template and I'll click on next. So I'll select the two availability zones for this demo purpose. So load balancing. So we have an option to attach an existing load balancer or create entirely a new load balancer for our use case, or we can proceed without a load balancer. So a short description of load balancer would be it is a device or a software component that evenly distributes incoming network traffic or workload across multiple servers or resources. So here in our case, it is an instances, like group of instances that we launch. So I want to have a load balancer because if we scale out our instances, we need to have the differentiation like are we really able to connect to the newly raised instance or not. So I'll proceed with attached to a new load balancer. And my use case here is application load balancer. For the load balancer, I'll name as demo ASG LB. And it should be internet facing because I need to access through the public internet. And yeah, I have selected two availabilities also in the following subnets. I'll go with 8080. So since I mean again for load balances we need to have a target groups. So I'll create a new target group and the target group I'll name as demo ASGTG. So currently I do not require for this demo for the VPS, that is integration options. I'm skipping that and I'm skipping these as well and proceeding with next. So here this is the main part. So the group size. What is desired capacity? So before launching the before launching this auto scaling group, I mean post launching, post creation, how many instances do we need? The capacity do we need? For this demo, I'm going with one instance, and this is the part of the scaling. So what is your desired minimum desired capacity, maximum desired capacity? So the minimum desired capacity, I would be keep it to the one because my desired capacity is also one. So the max I'll go with two for this demo. And I need to have a target tracking scaling policy because I need to have the scaling automatically when one of the parameter is fetched or it is coming into the picture. So the scaling policy will be target tracking policy. I'll go with the default. And for this demo purpose, I'll go with average CPU utilization. So if it is touched to the 50, I need to scale out. I mean, I need to spin up a new instance. If again the values, target values below the 50, the CPU utilization percentage, then again it should go to the minimum desired capacity. So here we do have many things like it may be a networking bytes, network out bytes, application load balance or request count per target. So we can select many of the options, or else again, if we create this policy, then also we can add these tracking scaling policy with other parameters using the CloudWatch metrics. Looks like the CPU. I mean, we can take many parameters into the count. So we have a wide range of configurations and flexibility here. So currently I'm going with the defaults and I'm clicking on the next. So yeah, these notifications. So these are optional, but if you want an email to be triggered to you or do some action, so we can add a notification. So that in the SNS topics, we can give our email ID. So we can send out an email by creating a topic. So you can attach your email. So if something happens like a launch terminate or some fail to launch or fail to terminate for these event types, an email will be sent to you. You can watch through the email, or if you do not wish to have notifications, you can skip with this. It's an optional thing. So having a notification is a good idea in organizations because the team will be notified about the scaling in or scaling out. So I'm currently skipping this part as well and clicking on moving to the next and next. So here we are in the review section now. Yeah, I'm good with this configuration. So I'm clicking on create auto scaling group. So auto scaling group is created. So now let's go to the instances. Let's see if any instance is being spinned up or not. Yeah, let's see. A new instance is being spinning up. Let's wait for its state to be running. So since we also selected the load balance and the target loop, these should also be created. I'm going to the load balancers to see if any new load balance is being created for me by this auto scaling group. Yeah, we can see its provisioning state. Yeah, now we can see. Okay. And target groups. So yeah, target group has been created as well. So then let's go back to the instance, see whether it's running or not. Yeah, it's up and running, and it is in initialization state. So I'll name it as ASG -1. And let's go to the Now let's go to the load balancers and see whether it is being still under provision. And two things we need to before accessing the load balancer DNS name. So each state should be, I mean, should be completely provisioned, and it should the state should become available in green color in the target groups. If we see the target groups, targets, yeah, if we go into this, or yeah, here we have the states initial, healthy, and healthy. It should be in healthy state. So let's wait for those. Let's wait for the load balancer being state completely provisioned, and the target group instances should its health state also should be healthy. So it is healthy, and let's see whether the load balancer it's still, yeah, it is also active. So now let's try to hit the load balancer. So yeah, now we could see that we could access our page, our demo page. I have installed Apache Net for quick demo purpose. So we can see the index page, it is accessing, and we are using a load balancer. We were able to access the currently raised instance. So since now let's go to back to the auto scaling groups, and I'll click on here. So in the activity section, we could see that yeah, in activity history, we can see that what all actions have been happened. Like it is launching an instance, and it is added to a target group. So we can get all the information here in the activity section. Since we did not opt for the notifications, it is zero. So in the automatic scaling, here we can configure the policies. So we are good with this policy for now. It is if the CPU touches 50, so we need to create a new instance. If it again come back below 50, it should scale. It should decrease its instance again to the minimum desired capacity to one. I mean, it should remove one unit and add one unit. So if you are not, if you want more sophisticated rules you want to create, so we can click on create dynamic scaling policy, and we have this policy step scaling, simple scaling, step scaling. So we can choose, and we can create a cloud watch along, and we can add this, and we have many options. We need what if it meets what we need to do. Do we need to add or remove or set to these many instances? Or again here capacity units or percent of group. So we have wide variety of options in AWS for auto scaling groups. So depending upon our requirement, we can tweak or play with this or apply these to our use case, personal use cases, or at organizational levels. So now let's go back to the instances. I'll connect to my instance. So I have logged into my instance. Okay, so now initially we'll install this press command to increase our CPU utilization percentage. So I'll give sudo em install stress hyphen. So it's complete. So yeah. Yes, so now let's go back to the instance and so let's paste the stress command and let's run this command up to 5 minutes and try to increase the CPU utilization. So the stress command will help us to increase the CPU utilization. So let's go to the monitoring. Oh, already we could see that due to some activity, so the CPU is already went to 65%, which is more than the limit which set like 50%. So a new instance already spun up. So let's try to hit it. So now the IP is to some 172.31.81.233. Now let's see. Yeah, it's not on it's changing. Yeah, we could see that it is handling the traffic is being I mean routed to two between two different instances by the load balancer. So this is it. So and now let's see what are features of auto scaling groups in AWS. So the first one is dynamic scalability. Auto scaling groups automatically adjust the number of EC2 instances based on defined policies, ensuring optimal for performance during peak and off hours. As like our previous example, during the peak days during celebrations, we do have many offers hosted by these e-commerce websites. So during that time, to ensure swift customer experience, so we can have the dynamic scalability and high availability. By distributing instances across multiple availability zones, auto-scaling groups enhances fault tolerance, ensuring uninterrupted content delivery even in the event of hardware failures or zone outages. So, if since we have installed, I mean, we split these instances between different availability zones. If we have some issues, it may be a hardware failure or any other uh, issues like the power backup issue. So during the those times, so if it automatically the users are routed to the healthy instance or the speed of the other instance and ensures the application is highly available and we can have the good customer experience and cost optimization. Auto scaling groups helps in cost management by scaling resources up or down based on demand, thereby avoiding over-provisioning and minimizing experiences during idle periods. So in earlier days when where there is no cloud providers and no cloud environments, so what would I mean we should buy these instances at bulk. We need to pay to the vendors, and during those peak seasons we need to buy these resources, attach it and pay the upfront costs and everything. And we note if we are a new website or I mean new company, a startup, we don't know how many users will hit us. Maybe it will be an unexpected demand or not reaching to the expectations. In both cases, the customer experience, in both of the cases, one, the if the users reach beyond the expectations, if no users are not able to access the website, then again it leads to the bad customer experience. And if it is not meeting the demands, the company would go to losses or face some financial situation due to this. So it covers those areas as well, auto scaling groups. So, and it has some integrations with elastic load balancing, like how we seen like handling incoming traffic by adopting load balancers. And we can have policies as we seen like if CPU touched 50% or the rule we can pick any rule that we want to apply to it, and we can customize the policies. And it's a life cycle management. So auto scaling groups facilitates easy management of instance life cycles, allowing for automated scaling, instance termination, replacement, and streamlining administrative tasks. So that coming to the pros of it, the features which we discussed now or come under the pros of using auto scaling groups. So again, to keep it short, auto scaling groups backs our system with scalability, fault tolerance, cost efficiency, ease of management, and reliability. So now let's see whether we the CPU is brought down and the instances. So I am running the stress command, right? So it may again, it bumped to it. So now let's see whether the execution is completed or not. So it's still running. So I'll stop the stress command since we have seen the auto scale, auto scaling coming into the picture. So now I'll go with 30 minutes time frame. Yeah, the CPU slowly will drop down and it will scale down an instance. So I'll pause this video and will resume back when the CPU settles down and I'll show how it terminates. Yeah, guys, now we could see that the CPU is being dropped from around it touched its peak 65 and it came to 50 and now its activity is in 0 dot. So now the CPU is being come back to it's not since it is not having heavy traffic or nor any CPU utilization due to some workloads. So the CPU percentage dropped. So instantly we could not see the instances scaling down. So one thing I wanted to show. So here we could see I mean, a new instance has been created. So if we go to the target groups, so we could see that targets, so targets also will be added here. I think the instances now got, I think, yeah, it's scaled down now. So it's not at scale down. So let's again go to the target groups. Yeah, I'm going to the targets and I'm refreshing here. We could see that newly created instances is attached to the target. So that's why we could see if we are via accessing this load balancer URL, we're able to see the traffic is being routed. It's going in round robin fashion for one time one instance, other time to the other instance. So if we go to the load balancer, we can have AWS recently introduced a resource map functionality to us. It gives us the like a flow diagram, like what are the listeners, what are the rules we applied, what are the rules for the target group, and what are the targets. So it gives us a clear representation flow or map diagram. So what is happening? So it will be very useful. Do kindly check out when you are implementing this in your AWS demos or implementing in your organizations. So again, let's go back to the instances. Let's check if it is okay. It will take some time to scale down the instances. So in the meanwhile, let's see what are the cons of using the auto scaling groups. So the first thing is complexity. Setting up and configuring auto scaling group might require a certain level of expertise, particularly in defining scaling policies and integrating with other AWS services. Because so here many things coming to the picture for scaling up the instances and scaling down the instances or other resources. So we need to have some background knowledge on AWS provided services, and depending upon your use case and requirement, we need to apply these configurations. So it may take the research and time. Then we need to apply to our use cases. And the second one is potential overscaling. In some cases, misconfiguration of scaling policies or insufficient monitoring can lead to overscaling, resulting in unnecessary expenses. So, yeah, sometimes due to some, for example, I should, so we do have some batch workloads. So, if we do not take that into the consideration, definitely CPU may spike. And in our case, it's very low threshold. We can say it's reaching 50, it will create a new instance, but it is not required. So in those cases, so it will create spin up a new instance and it will cost us. So we need to have some, think knowledge on setting up the health rules or configuration rules for it. Um, to to avoid these potential overscaling issues. And the other thing is instance warm up time. During scaling events, there might be a brief delay as new instances are launched and initialized, impacting response time until they become fully operational. It means so it takes some time the instance to be available to handle our requests. Like if one instance reached, assume that we have a scaling load 80%, but the traffic suddenly increased and now it went to a 90 or 95, the CPU is getting hot, and our instance will, I mean, the newly spinning up instance will take some time to, because it should have the configuration being installed and it should be added to the target group and it should be healthy and then it will take the traffic. So, to avoid these warm up time, so we need to have some, uh, well defined configurations through CloudWatch or any other metrics we want to introduce to scale out or scaling up the instances. So we need to take those into the picture as well. So yeah, we have discussed pros and cons. Now let's see whether the instance is being scaled down or not. So still it is running. Let's check the CPU one more time. So yeah, it's fully. Yeah, the CPU is now running normal, not reaching to our threshold. It's looking good. Right. So one other important thing is we can check this auto scaling activities in our auto scaling configuration one. So if we go to the activity in our auto scaling group, so we do have a clear, like we can call it as our ledger, auto scaling ledger, group ledger. So we can see like it will launch instance from 0 to 10 because we have desired capacity of 1. So then it is updated to the target groups and updating the load balances. We have the reason for it as well. And when it is scaling up, the cost, the time frame will have everything. A monitor alarm target tracking, this one, the grid which we have. So then it raised its capacity from 1 to 2. So that's why we could see that since suddenly our CPU got spiked to 65% before executing a stress command, then only we could see the other instance coming up. So so we have this logging available. So see again here it is terminating the existing EC2 instance which spinned to support our already running EC2 instance to handle the workloads. So it says that again the alarm so it is an alarm state. So we can see the reason for here. Again, target tracking policy changing the desired capacity from 2 to 1. was taken out of service in response to difference between desired and actual capacity, because now the CPU, our CPU is looking good. So now we can go back to the instances and we can see it is being it will yeah, it will be terminated. Let's wait for some time. Again, let's go back. I'll open this in a new tab now. New tab. Let's go to the scaling groups. Scaling groups. So yeah, let's click on here and click on activity. So it's connecting on training. Okay, it, connection training in progress. It's in progress. So that's why our instance is still in running state. Let's give it a couple of minutes to complete this task. And now you can also, yeah, let's see, check our CPU, existing CPU. So this below is ASG1. So we can see now. So it's good. It's looking good now. So the one thing, this events also helps us. The history helps us. So what and all its activity for performing. So if you want to receive the same history or the notifications through the email, so you can create a notification, create a topic, and for each activity you will get notified through the email channels. And the topic has also a wide variety of options. Yeah, we can check on it. So uh, uh, guys, I'll pause the video for some time, and when this is completed I'll share my screen again, and let's continue through that. Hey guys, now we could see that the instance is being one of the instances being shutting down since so I mean, due to the activity which is here. Again, it's terminating this instance, so we'll get each and every information here. I mean, what is the instance it raised, the instance ID, and what it is terminating, and we'll get every information in the activity history. So we can check from here as well. So it successfully terminated the instance. Now we could see that only one instance will be there here. So it's successfully terminated. So this is about auto scaling groups in AWS. Thank you for joining me in this demonstration of auto scaling group. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And if you have any questions or topics you would like me to cover in future videos, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in next video. Bye guys.